I don't know why. Why am I going to start it with this? Why am I going to start it with this? This is UK grooming gang probe. Women essayed by 700 men. Most attackers identified as, well, Pakistani Muslims. Okay. Yeah, of course. Of course.
That's the breaking news that's coming.
Oh, let's start in the middle.
Probe, woman raped by 700 men. Most rapists were Pakistani Muslim men, and the probe also reveals that there was a bid to traffic women to Pakistan. Unending Pakistan rape gangs shame in United Kingdom. So that's the breaking news that's coming in from UK, where sickening UK rape gang revelations have come to the fore. The probe reveals that a woman was raped by 700 men, and most of these rapists.
Yeah. I was gonna make like a Bonnie Blue joke, but it's just in poor taste. It's just in poor taste. This kind of thing is just, oh, you're wrong time to join. Yeah. I definitely wrong time to join. I started off, for some reason, I chose this one to check out, but of course this is happening. Of course, this is going on. They allow, like, this is why I'm all for getting out illegals and people who don't belong in a nation, people who disrespect a nation. I'm all for people having a joy with where they've come from, but that's like my dad flying his Hispanic flag here on U.S. soil instead of loving the fact that he's in America and my dad flies an American flag. It just makes sense. It just, he wants to be here. He's proud of being here. It's always those people who enter a nation and become a problem. Your unemployment subscriber is now not so much unemployed. Congratulations. I wish.
All of the streams now.
Yeah.
Because then not congratulations.
No. I wish I was unemployed. I wish I was permanently unemployed. That's what a lot of like streamers say when they've become successful at streaming. Mm-hmm. They become like permanently unemployed. like I wish that was the case. No. I am employed, but I wish to be unemployed.
Okay.
Your streak at first broke. But yeah, I mean, this kind of thing is just absolutely barbaric. Absolutely barbaric. But so I'm all for getting people who don't belong. Of course, this is Britain, and they're all backwards right now. Yep. But you have to chase out people that do not belong, do not respect the culture or the nation they're going into. You have to get rid of them.
There's a reason why the people, the Democrats, are going on they're shutting down everything and they're going to the Europe.
Yep.
To have discussions there, because
this is what they want.
Yeah,
this is exactly what they want.
Were Pakistani Muslim men, and there was also a bid to traffic women.
Yeah, what do we expect from barbarians? People with that just have a mentally deranged mindset.
From UK to Pakistan, so it's a never-ending Pakistan rape gangs shame in UK, and now with this. Probe revealing that a woman was raped by 700 men, and most of these men, the rapists, were Pakistani Muslim men, and in fact there were also attempts which were being made in UK to traffic women to Pakistan.
What do you say about racism towards Indians in the West? I've never seen it. Honestly, I've never seen it firsthand, but in the end, you get racism no matter where you go in the world. My brother received it when he went to India. People were Elias, like he has experience of like people looking at him like he was just an infidel, I'll say.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Especially in J&K.
Really?
Yeah. On the flight, he had very bad experience. Very bad experience. But yeah, I've never personally seen it. My wife hasn't personally experienced it.
Not yet.
My dad is Mexican. He's never
I actually look forward to it because I'm going to bring my phone out and then I'm going to be famous like people.
Record.
And then I'll make TikTok videos about how, people were racist and blah,
become
blah, blah.
famous.
Yeah.
Become famous.
And I'll become an influencer.
Yeah, without showing your face.
Motivational speaker, whatever.
Yes. Because you were spoken to by some white person that tries to correct you and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but white people are the main issue, let's be honest.
As the Minister knows, our independent rape gang inquiry hearings are ongoing, just a short walk from this chamber. Last week, I sat opposite one woman who was raped by between 600 and 700 men. She estimated that 98% were Pakistani Muslims. The evidence we are collecting is brutal. Again and again, we've been told of failed attempts to traffic raped and abused women overseas to Pakistan and elsewhere. Thankfully, those attempts failed. How many did not? Will the Minister agree to urgently review cases of missing girls in target areas and launch a full state investigation into reports of such trafficking?
This is so disgusting. There's so many instances on the internet, so you're just interested, curious. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But that's the thing. It's things like this that make people become extreme and problematic. It's instances like this that cause it. Because I remember it during like the 9/11 attacks. I was just a kid. But at that point in time, everyone was afraid of anyone wearing a turban. That's just what it became. Anyone wearing a turban, everyone was afraid. It didn't matter if they were Sikh, if they were Muslim, if it just didn't matter. If they were wearing a turban, people were like second guessing. It was like, what the heck? What the heck? After 9/11. And that tends to happen because things get blown out of proportion. People get lumped in together. And that's the problem. Like most Indians, let's be honest, are lumped in with the Middle East. That's just how it is. Still, Brits love to vote for a courier, Starmer, but not an Indian descent, extremely British man named Rishi
Sunak.
Rishi
Was their
Sunak.
previous.
Yeah. It's Britain is
Well,
lost.
the problem is that they enabled this behavior.
Yeah.
They've been enabling it for years, and now that because before they were targeting other minor communities, but now they're targeting the Britishers.
Yep.
So now they have issues with it.
Yeah, because before it wasn't an issue. Because like like at Whitechapel in Britain, the Jewish population was ostracized out because the Pakistanis moved in, and Palestinians moved in and shunt them out. They chased them out of that area. And then the thing is like that's kind of the culture. Like I saw it. You see it happening in the U.S. Like if you go to Dearborn, Michigan, the entire city now is Muslim. If you go into it's happening in Gothawa and JNK, where they're starting to move in, and it's pushing communities out as they slowly take over and to make other people feel uncomfortable. It's just how it works. Not it's sad, but that's just how it operates. It needs to be squashed, and you can allow people of a different mindset into a community. You just can't have them change the rules and the dynamics of the community. That's the big issue. Proud to be Pakistani Muslim. We are real Muslim. I don't know. Yeah, because it's just like you have to be respectful of the place you're going to. Oh, it's not working. Give it time.
Justice Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, the testimony of the victims that the honourable gentleman has heard
Well,
from
you
is
say you're
absolutely
proud
horrifying.
Pakistani Muslim, but your name says Captain America.
The Grooming gang scandal was one of the darkest moments in this country's history. Victims and survivors of these hideous crimes deserve justice, and we will make sure they get it. Our inquiry is a full statutory independent inquiry with all of the powers under the Inquiries Act 2005 to deliver justice, and I would urge him and anybody else with any allegations of criminality or evidence of criminality to share that with the police immediately.
And India Today Global's Pranay Upadhyay is now joining us with more details on this. Pranay, absolutely shocking revelations have been made in the probe in the UK rape gang case, and which claims that a woman was raped by 700 men. Now, this raises some serious questions on the law enforcement agencies. How did they fail to detect and take action against?
It's the UK. There is no law enforcement. It's that simple. There is no law enforcement. They're police officers, they're peacekeepers, don't even carry firearms with them. They carry a stick. That's their weapon of choice, a stick. How are they going to stop a mob? How are they going to stop any kind of like? Who's worried about the principal when they get mad at you? They're going to smack you when you're making jokes in class. It's the same exact thing. You need to escalate. You need to have more severe consequences. Do what Florida does. If someone does a criminal act or someone starts rioting in the streets or someone attacks an officer, well, guess what? Their body bags are returned to the family. That's just how it goes. That should just be how it goes.
Hence these crimes that were repeatedly happening.
Absolutely, Angie. These are very shocking claims coming on the floor of the UK Parliament. And this clearly shows that, how UK judicial system, how the UK policing system has miserably failed. And this is happening, this is coming to fore at a time when we know about the Rotherham case as well. Because in 2013, the shocking revelation about the Rotherham case came to fore, where, over 1,200 students or 1,200 young girls were reportedly, sexually abused by these grooming gangs, and many police officers have failed to take action. And in fact, rather than taking action on culprits, they took action. In fact, the victims were booked.
Increase the speed. Oh yeah, it's going slow.
These are clearly reflecting on the UK's system, and more so. You heard UK's Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood clearly assuring the House that there is a statutory inquiry, but the current state of the statutory inquiry is that despite having despite 2 months, this inquiry has not taken off. This is still in the consultation phase. The victim testimonies have not taken place as yet, and
the problem with UK is it's not protecting its people first. It's protecting its voter base. And the sad thing is, in Britain's voter base is the immigrants that don't belong there. The thing is, a lot of politicians are willing to sacrifice their nation to win an election. That's the sad part. Politicians are willing to sacrifice their nation to win an election, especially when you get down the whole liberal hive mind mindset. It's absolutely nuts. What about Christians and Hindus kill innocent Muslims in UK, India, European countries? We Muslims are contributors to society. Exactly. You need to be a part of society. The problem is when
you need to defend the innocents.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do.
When things like this happen, it just makes it worse for everybody. Why? Because everyone starts to get lumped into a group. Anyone that's just brown passing skin will start to get lumped into the same kind of narrative.
Yeah.
And people will get very defensive. And people who have there are Indian Britons who have been they're Indian descent. No, Britoners who have Indians gene in them from back in the day, from 200 years ago. They've lived in Britain.
What are they
called? British Indian.
Yeah,
something like that. But they've lived there their entire lives. They're British through and through.
Second gen immigrants?
No, they'd be
third, fourth.
Yeah, fourth, because they would have been, their great grandparents would have been the ones that migrated over. Yeah. But guess what? They will now be lumped in with all these people that everyone who is now white skinned views all these brown peoples.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anglo Indians. Yeah,
British Indians
who feel they don't belong. Just because now it's these people that everyone's seeing, that it's just when it's not it's not those people who have lived there, who have accepted the culture. Sure, they'll probably still have some customs that they've brought over and their families still do, but they don't go out in the streets and publicly do these atrocities. These people need to be kicked out. There needs to be that's one of the biggest things that needs to change. Going to another nation and trying to live in another nation, that completely needs to be redone entirely. In the US, the K-1 visa needs to be completely changed. The H-1B visa needs to completely change. Even the tourist visa needs to be readjusted, because it's difficult for some people, but then some people get here and then are just immediately accepted in. There needs to be a massive overhaul in the whole thing in the whole thing, because you need people here who actually want to be here, not people who come here and then start flying their nation's flag when they're here in the U.S. It's illegal to fly another nation's flag above the American flag, but everyone seems to do it and no one seems to care. Technically, it's also illegal to wear an American flag, but everyone seems to wear it as well.
Yeah.
But it's a bro. There is no requirement of firearms to control mob. They required intent, and India police don't use firearms like U.S. Well, like I think isn't it in India where it's like there's like 4 people in the patrol car and at least one of them has a firearm. At least that's what I've learned from movies. One of them at least has a firearm. The rest of them all carry a stick, like Britishers. Because British apparently brought that to India, and India has decided to continue what British did.
Well, we also have tear gas, so.
Good. Well, the U.S. uses tear gas as well. Gotta
And
get
the
those
water
riders
pump
out.
thingies. Yeah, like just dump water on.
Oh, yeah, the strong fire hose type thing.
Commission has not reached out to the victims and their families as yet.
All right. All right, Pranay, thank you for those details on these shocking revelations in the UK grooming gang probe, in which it has been revealed that a woman was raped by 700 men, and most of
And
these
they're
rapists were
also
Pakistani
they're
Muslim
showing
men,
this
and there was also
video.
a bit
Yeah.
of
Just a
traffic-
few days ago, there was this case where they were grooming young Indian girls. I think they were from Punjab or something. And they were grooming those girls, and then the family basically went there, or the community, gathered, and they rescued the girl from the people. And yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. It's just like this stuff needs to absolutely be stopped. Needs to absolutely be
And
stopped.
then they give stupid reasons like, oh, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know the law. And the thing is, everybody knows that they were stupid. Everybody knows what they did was wrong. But the thing is, their government has been enabling this for so long that they know they can get away with it.
Yeah. That they can continue to do it. Just saying you don't know the law. That is no excuse for breaking the law.
Because, okay, so somebody who came there 10 years ago, his friends or family decided to come over, and he told the story to them, or he went back to Pakistan, he told, story like, oh, I was with this 14-year-old,
And they let me go because I didn't know the law.
Yeah, and then it's like, so they keep spreading the stories, and then whoever is coming over, because they're arresting the ones that are, recent people, who are on student visa, who are, there for, 2 months, 3 months, and because they feel like they can do it, and there will be no consequences.
Yeah. The next PM of UK is Pakistani Islamist, most likely at this fault, at this point in time. Yeah, most likely. It's like what is it, like the people who escaped Iran were they would always talk about how their first signs of warning, like the Muslims who escaped Iran, their first signs of warning was when the left started to pander to Islam. When the left starts to pander to Islam, and it's happening in the U.S. It's insane. It's like in Canada, in the U.K. For some reason, the left is completely weak to certain kinds of ideologies, and then they it's considered hatred or something. But it's there's nothing wrong with being a faithful person and being a believer, but one of the biggest issues is the extreme mindsets, and every religion has extreme mindsets. The thing is, a lot of the times when there's an extremist group out there, it gets all the focus that nobody notices anything else. Nobody notices anything else. No, my Discord things aren't popping up here. They're popping up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I wish there was more understanding, and at the same time, I personally believe people when they do a crime, they need to be held account. Hey, extremists are hard argue. Yeah, extremists are difficult. There's no arguing with an extremist. There isn't. But when someone does a crime, they need to be held to the extent of the law. There is no, oh, you didn't know the law. No, there's no excuse like that. If I'm going to a nation and I break the law not knowing, it is my fault. Now, if it's something, I'm trying to think. if there's like a stupid law to where I need to clap my hands 3 times before walking into a building, okay, that I could understand not knowing, okay? Clap your hands 3 times before walking through a doorway. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Like there are certain signs that you're not allowed to do. I think it's in Dubai or something.
Yeah.
That you're not allowed to do this sign or the peace
Oh,
sign.
seriously?
Yeah, because it's like it means something offensive in there and you can get fined or jailed for it. Yeah, there was a vlogger that I saw and she did that while she was like taking photo and a bunch of guys came to her and like, no, don't do that, don't do that. And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because those kinds of things I understand. But SA, assault and battery, that kind of stuff, there's no excuse for anything like that. I don't care if you come from a barbaric nation. There's no excuse for something like that when you go to a civilized nation. And yes, I'm saying it that way. Sure, it's disrespectful to some nations, but I would never live in a nation that allows a man to take advantage of a child and be like, it's my right as a man. I would see that as being a barbarian. It just, that's why I would never go to a nation like that, because I'd see them all as barbarians. I don't want to go to a barbaric nation. I don't want to go to a barbaric nation.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait like that.